uh, take a few seconds to start the live stream and just see if the live stream is working fine. So I'll just be back with you in a few seconds. All right, so I'm back. Hi, everyone. Good evening. And once again, warm welcome to everyone in today's session. Today's topic is a interesting one as well, because in today's session, we are going to understand how you can start digitally marketing your business. And this where it's not like I'm going to share with you how to start doing one type of advertisement. This is where we'll be covering the entire bit. And obviously, you'll be going through the webinar, so you'll understand that. So let's not discuss that. We'll be discussing that in detail. But more importantly, we'll be waiting for a few minutes just to allow everyone to join in and settle down. And we will use this time firstly to understand how we'll be conducting this webinar, how we'll be interacting with each other. So as you know that this is a webinar format, so personal interaction, right? So in a typical Zoom meeting, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your question. That will not be possible in this session, but that does not mean that you cannot ask me question. If you have to ask a question, and I will appreciate that, because if you're asking question, that's where you're putting in an effort to understand something, and I always appreciate that you should ask. In fact, I encourage that you should ask question. So how do you ask questions? So for that, down below, if you're joining through a laptop or desktop, you'll see there is an option which says Q&A. So you can use that option to ask question, and I keep the Q&A window open alongside. So whenever I have a chance, I'll just quickly peek onto it, and if there's a possibility, if I can answer your question, I will answer that then and there, so that you can immediately get the answer. But if it is not possible, then we'll discuss that towards the end, where we'll be breaking into a question answer round. So towards the end of the session, we'll dedicate it 5-10 minutes. And if there's anything which I could not answer during the session, I'll try to answer that. In fact, I'll also share my contact details with you. So if any one of you would want to connect with me after the session, or if there's anything that you would want to discuss with me on a personal level, you can do that. You are more than welcome to do that. All right, so that was about the questions. Now we will also try to keep this session interactive. Otherwise, we all know these are technical sessions, and obviously, after a few minutes, it becomes a little boring. So, and unless you're actively participating, you'll not be able to have the same level of engagement. You will not have the same level of excitement, and you may not be able to grasp everything, understand everything, right? So that's where we'll try to keep the webinar engaging, and for that we will be using the chat. So I can already see there are a number of members who are actively using that chat to connect or interact with other wonderful business owners who are also joining us here today. So that is a very nice thing. Why should you not use this opportunity? God knows you may be able to find a buyer or supplier in this session, right? So you may be missing out on an opportunity if you're not using this opportunity to introduce yourself to other business owners who are also joining us here today, right? So you can see there are a number of participants who are already doing that. So it is a nice thing. You should do that. In fact, I will also try to contribute to it by sharing my details. But this is where I think it is high time we should get started. We have done enough of talking. Now, there's just one last point I would want to share with you, and this is something which I've seen sometime happen. So it is not like it is every webinar it is happening, but sometime it has happened that when I started sharing the screen, that's where there were few members who were not able to see the screen. So white screen or something else was appearing. So if you also face this challenge, so in that case, what should you do? Right. So I start sharing the screen, and that's where everyone else is able to see, but you are not able to see. In that case, what will you do? So in that case, what you should do is that, and it mostly happens with the users who are joining through their smartphones. The underlying cause is that the Zoom application that they are using, it is not updated, and because of that it sometimes happens. So if it happens, then you have to just step out of the meeting, update the Zoom application, join back again, and the problem will get solved. All right, so just in case it happens, so I just sort of sharing with you. All right, so this is where I'll very quickly move the chat and Q&A windows to the other monitor. So if you find me looking to the side, that is where I am just looking at the other monitor I have. And I will move the windows to the other monitors so that if any one of you is asking a question, or if we have to interact, we have to chat with each other, we can do that. All right, so this is, let me also expand it a little bit so that it is bigger and I can see your questions and comments in a better way. All right, so it is all looking good. And once again, because I've seen there are a number of participants who have just joined in, so let me welcome them as well. So good evening and a warm welcome to all the participants in today's webinar. We are just getting started. So in next few seconds, you'll start seeing my screen. And as I'm starting to share my screen, let me give a brief introduction about myself as well. My name is Adnan. I am Director SME Commerce Growth at GlobalLinker. And as the designation suggests, my focus area at GlobalLinker is digital commerce. But in addition to that, I actively work on educating or sharing knowledge with business owners like you in various countries so that you can easily adopt digital ways of doing business. We all know that digital is the way forward. There's no argument about that. But where the challenge comes is how to use digital, because in today's day and age, there's no dearth of technology solutions, but how to use those technology solutions is something where most business owners and especially MSMEs struggle. So that's where we try to contribute as much as possible. And I have personally conducted more than 450 such training sessions and webinars. I've stopped counting, but there are more than 450. And I had the wonderful opportunity of connecting, interacting, and sharing some knowledge and wisdom with more than 12,000 businesses in various countries. So that was a quick brief about myself. All right, so this is where we are getting started. So in next few seconds, you'll start seeing my screen, and then we'll proceed ahead with today's presentation. In today's presentation, I've also uh, attempted to do a slightly different thing. You will notice the moment I'll start sharing the screen. So this is where I've started sharing the screen. I can see the screen share has started. Now this is where I need your help. If few of the participants can confirm me that you are able to see the screen, you can just type yes in the chat. So just let me know if you are all able to see the screen. So thank you everyone who have confirmed that you are able to see the screen. So this is where we are going to get started. Let's start. Firstly, we'll understand what will be the discussion topics for today's session. And you might be thinking like why the presentation is all blacked out. Because this is something which I've realized that looking at a bright screen for almost 1 hour is extremely taxing on the eyes. And everywhere every application, almost every other application that we are using, it has a dark mode. So why not convert the presentation into a dark mode? So that's what I've attempted to do so that it is easier on your eyes, at least. All right, so that is why you'll see it in darker colors, or it is converted into black background, white color, so that it is easier on your eyes. And you don't have to stare at a bright screen. All right. Now let's understand the discussion topics. The first one is readiness check, whether you're ready or not for running the digital campaigns or advertising or doing digital marketing. Analytics, how will you do analytics? And then search engine optimization, we'll understand about that. Then we'll understand about email marketing. Then we'll understand about social media marketing. Then we'll understand about content marketing. We'll understand about influencer marketing, and then Google Ads. And lastly, we'll break into the question answer round, right? So we have a very long journey to go. There are a number of topics. In fact, each topic is enough for a few hours of discussion, right? But I've attempted to compress that information, condense that information so that you can understand without spending many hours, just within this 1 hour or even less than 1 hour, because we'll be taking out some time for the Q&A as well. So next 40-45 minutes, you are able to understand all these topics. All right. So this is where we will get started. And one or 2 points which I'm going to clarify to everyone before I move on to the next screen. And that is, you'll get the recording. So that is a very popular question. Almost every webinar that we are doing or training workshop that we are doing, people ask, will I get the recording? Yes, certainly you will get the recording. So the email ID that you have given or that you have used for joining today's session, you will get the recording on that, right? So don't worry on that. You'll get the recording of this webinar. The second question is, will I get a copy of this presentation? Yes, you will get a copy of this presentation in the email that you'll get along with the recording. You'll get the copy. In fact, I will also add it to the description. So you'll get the recording of this webinar. So it will be a YouTube video. So we are live streaming on YouTube, and that's where you'll get the recording. So in the description, I will also add a download link of this presentation, right? So you will get the presentation. Now, why is this presentation important? Because I have provided resources. So tomorrow, if you are wanting to implement these steps, that's where you would want to use certain tools, which I have suggested to you in this presentation. You'll get the links of all those tools in this presentation. All right. So let's move on. So the first topic on our discussion list is readiness check. How to do readiness check. Let's understand more about the readiness check. So this is where I'm going to share with you a story, a business story, just to highlight to you why it is. And if you are not doing the readiness check, then you can imagine the consequences. So, and this is where, how many of you are familiar with this object that you are seeing on the screen? You can share your inputs, your thoughts. So this is something almost I think every one of us has seen in movies and TV ads, etc. Some of us has seen in person as well, or may have used it as well. Yes, Mr. Sham has identified it as a Segway. Absolutely correct. Now, this is a very important case study, because when this was developed as a concept, including one of the leading thinkers and innovators of that time, Steve Jobs, had also said that this is going to be a revolutionary product, etc., etc. But coming back to the point, because we don't have a lot of time, so we'll not spend that. Why am I showing you this example? Because this is an example, and you can just Google and you can find there are a lot of case studies. A lot of speakers have spoken about this particular incident. So wherein they launched the product and like it fall flat, despite having all high hopes, and a lot of uh, business gurus and almost everyone in the industry like expecting them to do wonders, and nothing of that sort had happened, because the fundamental reason was they didn't do the readiness check, whether they were ready, whether the market was ready. So without doing any of that, they entered into the market, and they, like, the projection was to sell like millions of units, and in 5 years they were able to sell around 30-35 units at max. So obviously it was a failed product, but this is an interesting case study. So whenever you have time, you can Google and you can research it. So it is extremely important. The point that I'm trying to convey to you, that tomorrow you go to someone and you say, hey, I have created a website, I've created an online store, a digital catalog, and I want to grow the business. Obviously they'll suggest that start digital marketing, start running ads, etc., etc. No, you should not do that. What should you do? You should check yourself whether you are ready, whether your website is ready, whether you have all the analytics, all the tracking tools, everything in place, and then you should get started, right? So don't start and then you realize, oh, I have to track this, I'm not able to track this, what is happening, I'm burning money, nothing is happening, I'm not getting orders, what is happening? So don't go that way. Do the readiness check. Now let's move on. So readiness check for your digital catalog. How will you be able to do this readiness check? So for that, there are tools which I'm providing to you. Starting with, on the top, you have something called Website Check, and that's where I've given you a checklist. So you can click here and you'll be able to download a Google Sheet, and it is a checklist, right? So you can keep ticking like this is done, this is done, this is done, this is done on your website, right? So you can use the website checklist. So that will help you on ensure that your website is ready. Then you have search check. So for search engine optimization, or what is popularly known as, you may hear this term, on page optimization. So that is something that you can do yourself, or some bit of it, not maybe not entirely, but if you do little research and you use AI tool, you can do the entire thing as well on your own. So for that, I have given you the second checklist, which is here. Use this checklist, that it will help you understand what are the checks, what are the pieces of information that you have to add. And once you have added that, that's where from on-page optimization also you are ready. And then you have mobile check. What is this mobile check? Now we all understand and know that majority of browsing these days happen on what device? Laptop? No, it happens on mobile. So almost 70 to 80% of browsing happens on mobile, and it is absolutely important. It is imperative that your mobile should be working absolutely fine. The information that you have added on your website, it should look absolutely fine. So that is where there are certain checks that you can do. So is where it does not require like technical knowledge. You have to run some codes, etc. Basic things you have to go and check that your banners are appearing proper, your text on the banner is appearing proper, your product visuals are appearing proper, Zoom, etc. Those kind of checks, I have listed them down here in this checklist. So you can review these, or you have to go through these. Again, the point which I'm suggesting to you is that do all these checks before you start spending your money on the advertising, right? So you have to be ready for it, and then you do that, right? So website check, search check, mobile check. That's where you have ensured that from your side that every piece of information which was required to be there on my website, it is there and it is working okay on the mobile. Now, on the other side of the screen, you can see there are certain tools which are provided here. So these are basically checklists, which you are seeing on this side of the screen. These are the checklists, and these are the tools that you have to use. So you have page speed. So this is where you can evaluate the performance of your website. You have GT Matrix, or you have Lighthouse, similar sort of tools which you can use. Then you have content check. So that's where a plagiarism check is something that you, if you have created the content yourself, you essentially don't have to do it, but it is always good to do that. But if you had hired someone to create that content, then it is advisable that you do the plagiarism check, because you may not know, they may have like just copied the content from somewhere else, and you may be putting in a lot of effort to promote your website, and that's where you're not getting the desired results, especially in the search engine optimization. And this may be an underlying reason. So do a plagiarism check of the content. Then content analysis tool. This is a tool which will help you understand how good is your content from the search engine optimization perspective. Then AI content detector. If you don't want your content to be classified as a AI created content, then you can use that. But search engines don't make a difference, right? So for them, it does not matter. You created, AI created, as long as content is good, it is engaging, and the user is able to achieve the desired result or what they were looking for. If they are getting that, they're okay with that, right? So you can create and use AI created content. You don't have to humanize it anymore. And then we have SEO check. So for SEO check, the most powerful tool that you have is from Google. It is called Google Search Console, and it helps you understand like how are you doing with respect to search engine optimization. How many pages are indexed? How many pages are not indexed? Why they are not indexed? You can add your site maps, and then which pages are, which websites are have given the backlinks, all that information which is required to improve your search ranking, all that is there. And then you have the other tools also, like SEO site checkup, SEO review tool, SME Rush, Screaming Frog. So all these are popular tools that you can consider using to check from the SEO perspective. Because although we are talking about digital marketing, and search engine optimization is one of the topics, so you might be wondering like why SEO check? Because obviously throughout the lifespan of your business, you will not be just depending on the advertising to generate traffic for your business. You need organic traffic to come, and if you're not fixing these, then you'll not be able to generate organic traffic or transition onto organic traffic over a period of time, right? So it is not like throughout your life you'll be spending on advertisement, and throughout your life you'll through that advertisement you will be bringing traffic onto the website, and that's how you'll be generating revenue, leads, orders, etc. No, the how it works is obviously when you are new, that is where you have to spend on advertisement to bring that traffic. But gradually what you are doing is you are improving your content, you are improving your authority as well, and that is where you make that transition from paid to organic. That is a long term objective, that, and from that long term objective in perspective, this is crucial. SEO check. All right, so let's move on to analytics. Now you have checked and you have ensured that my website is absolutely fine. There is no issues. I've updated all the content. I have checked with various tools, and the speed is fine and everything is working fine. Now, the next thing that you have to do is you have to ensure that tomorrow, if traffic is coming to your website, you are able to understand what they are doing, right? So when it comes to analytics, what are the most important elements that you have to track? Traffic, of course, from where people are coming, how many people are coming from your website, average time spent, that is how much time they are spending on your website. Bounce rate is basically someone came to your website and immediately went away. So that is bounce rate within matter of seconds. So that's where it is like you were searching for something, you opened a page, and that's where you're, oh, wrong website, and you went away. So that is a sort of bounce rate. Now, it is very important that if you're running digital marketing or we are running ads, that's where if you have high bounce rate, that means that the profiling that you have done for the ads is wrong, because wrong traffic is coming to your website. They may be expecting something else, and then they open the website, and that's where they realize, oh, wrong website, and they go away. So bounce rate is something that you have to be extremely cautious of and keep a close eye on it. And then you have conversion rate, obviously, how many people came and how many placed an order, right? So typical e-commerce industry average is around 2%, but you can achieve a better conversion rate as well if you're controlling and tracking everything. Now let's move and understand why analytics is critical. So this is where I've used a screen shot or a visual of a supermarket, a shopping center. Now this where you can see there are certain customers who are coming, there are certain customers who are going to different aisles. This where this person is around the refrigerator aisle, this customer is around the vegetables and fruits aisle, and there are other customers who are doing other things. Now this is where if you had this kind of bird eye view, you can see how many customers stepped in, where did they go, how much time did they spend, and what did they buy, what did they don't buy. All that information is available to you, and when that information is available to you, you are able to take a lot of informed decisions, right? How many customers visited, how much time did they spend, which products did they reviewed, which product did they order, what was the conversion rate. So all that information is available. So analytics is crucial for having this kind of bird's eye view, and obviously to have deeper insights on anything as well if required. So it can give you a deeper insights as well. All right, now what are the tools that you should use for analytics? The most important and the most popular tool is Google Analytics, which is a Google's tool. So it helps you understand or literally every piece of information that you would need for analyzing traffic and analyzing the performance is available on Google Analytics, from real-time traffic to geographic and demographic, and then you can do funnel visualization, path visualization. So there is a lot that you can do with Google Analytics. Google Time Manager is actually not a analytics tool, but it is a tool that enables Google Analytics. So that's why I have included it here. And then you have Google Search Console, which is used for search engine optimization, but it also helps you understand like what are the relevant searches, which pages are performing, which pages are indexed, not indexed. So all that is there. Then you have Clarity, which is Microsoft's tool. So Clarity is like a camera that you can have on your website. Every customer coming in and where they are going, where they are clicking, and what they are seeing. All that, obviously, the user information is hidden, so you cannot see their email IDs and passwords. You can't do that. It is all camouflaged, or it is all concealed. But you are able to see how the customer is interacting with your website, right? So they might be using different devices on different devices, where they are going, how they are consuming the information, how that information is appearing, all that, right? So this is like you're sitting with the customer, sitting next to the customer, and you're like this peeking in, and they are reviewing your website, right? So it is almost like that. Why it is important? So this is where what you should do is have someone from your team on a daily basis review X number of recording. It is if it is possible for you to like review every recording, well and good, very nice. You should do that. But if it is not possible because of paucity of time, in that case, every day spend some time. Like every day, spend half an hour or an hour, and in that half an hour or hour, review recordings and see how the customers are going, and if they are getting stuck, so you'll be able to identify the places or the bottlenecks where they are getting stuck. Although using Google Analytics also, you can track like from which page they came and which page they go, but how they are going it through visually, where they are clicking and how that information section is loading, all that is seen on Microsoft Clarity. So there's also one very wonderful tool, and if you have already integrated Google Tag Manager, which is also very easy thing with our linker.store. It's just you have to sign up, create an account on Google Tag Manager, then copy the ID, paste it in the seller panel, and it starts working. So if you have already integrated Google Tag Manager, then Microsoft Clarity can be integrated using Tag Manager in matter of 2 minutes. Then you have Hotjar. So Hotjar is similar to Microsoft Clarity. It also provides you the recording how the customers were going through the various pages, but it also gives you a heat map of where all they are clicking. And there can be a scenario that they might be clicking at a place that which is linked to the wrong product or the wrong category, or it is not linked at all, right? So you haven't provided a hyperlink in a banner, and people are coming and they are clicking on. That is not a nice user experience, right? You are able to understand all those insights with Hotjar, right? So this is also a very useful tool, and all these are free to use. So you can use them, or you must use them. Have all of this in place before you start spending money on advertising, right? So that tomorrow, when traffic comes in, you are able to monitor it, you are able to analyze it, and then understand, or at least you are able to decipher, or you have some sort of sense that what is working and what is not working, and if a change has to be done, what change has to be done. Unless you are analyzing all this, you will not be able to understand, right? So it is not simple like you run the ads and then absolutely you'll get the orders. You have to do a lot of fine tuning with that. So that is where this is essential, and you should do that before starting advertising. Now, what should you track? Traffic, obviously, and I have given a little description as well. So this is not something I'm going to read and share with you. This is for you. So when you are accessing this presentation, you are able to understand like what bounce rate is. So that's why I've added a little description or little explanation as well, right? So traffic is something that you have to track. Bounce rate, I've already told you. Bounce rate is visitors coming and immediately going away. Then conversion rate, extremely important. Like 100 people came in, how many placed an order? That you have to track. Time on site, every time spent by the visitor on the site. Page per session, so how many pages were reviewed by a visitor on your website in a session. Then user behavior flow. Then you have funnel visualization, which is available in Google Analytics. You can go to engagement section in case you're not aware. So once you have created your Google Analytics accounts, on the side, you'll see like reports, and underneath that engagement, open the engagement, and funnel visualization is a pre-created. You have to just go there and just define the starting point and then the rest of the flow. And for your website, starting from the homepage, rest of the flow is already created, but you can obviously fine tune it. And then you have path visualization. So it is similar to funnel visualization. So funnel is like 100 people came in and where did they go? And what was the conversion at the end? And path visualization is what path they were taking, right? So from your homepage, which categories, and from those which category, from those categories, which products, right? So what was the path which was taken and where did most of the people go? So you'll be able to understand that. And then you have landing page. So if the customers are landing on a particular page, and it is not necessary that always they'll be landing on the home page, they may be landing on a category page, on a product page. So in that case, you can work on optimizing that landing page. All right, next topic is search engine optimization. Now, what is search engine optimization? I'm not going to explain to you. This is again for you, the textual or the theoretical explanation of search engine optimization, but in like common man's language, this is you optimizing your visibility on the search engine, right? So if you are searching for something and you happen to have or there's someone who's searching for a product that you offer. Now, if you're on the first page, obviously there's a chance that the person will click on it and may come to your website and you may get an order from them. But if you're not on the first page, then the chances are rare. So as a seller, your effort is to come on the first page so that if someone is looking for your product, then you're able to show them. And that is essentially search engine optimization, all that effort that is put in to be there on the first page of search engines, that is search engine optimization. All right. Now, what all is involved in search engine optimization? So the first one is keyword research. So keyword research is basically you are doing a research and understanding what are the relevant keyword. Now you must be thinking like, if I make shoes, leather shoes, then I know leather and shoe or leather shoes or formal shoes, those are the relevant keyword. No, this is what you are referring, or these are the terminologies, or these are the words or phrases that you are yourself using as a seller, but your buyer might be searching by something else. They may be searching by terms like Oxford shoes or Derby shoes or monks, right? You are not referring. So that is where keyword research is important, because it helps you understand like what are the terms which are getting searched, and then you can incorporate that in your meta information. Then you can incorporate that in your product titles, your product description, your content pages, right? So you can incorporate all those relevant words or your relevant keywords, so that when a search engine is looking or wanting to display, that's where there is a greater chance that your web pages or pages from your website will appear on the search results on the first page. On-page optimization. So on-page optimization is something that you will do after keyword research, or sometime it is done in parallel as well. So on-page optimization is where you are adding or you're optimizing the information which is there on the pages of your website. It is done for each page. It is not like you're doing it at one or two places in the website. It is done. So on-page optimization is something that you're doing on each and every page which is there on your website, right? Now, what is on-page optimization? Again, in simple terms, this is where you are updating the information of the pages that you have on your website. For example, you happen to be, again, the same shoes seller. So you happen to be a shoes seller, you happen to be a leather shoes manufacturer. So that is where, and you have a formal shoe. So you have to optimize the product title, you have to optimize the product description, you have to optimize the alt information which is there for the visuals, and you have to add the meta information, title and description, right? You have to do all that considering or taking into account the keyword research that you have done. You'll be incorporating all those relevant keywords into all those places, so that tomorrow when that page gets indexed, that is where search engines know that if there is someone who's looking for formal shoes, this is a page that we should also show. Now, the ranking will obviously depend on the authority and a lot of other factors, but obviously it will start appearing in the search results. And position is something that you can improve over the period of time. Then you have content creation. So this is where you have to create high quality content. This is also related to on-page optimization, and then you have technical SEO. So this is where you have to ensure that your website is error-free and all the broken links and image optimization, all that is done. Then you have link building. So link building is something a relatively specialized uh, activity which search engine experts used to do. Now, in today's day and age, you can even do it yourself. One of very interesting thing that you can also do for link building is that whenever you're doing a social media post, so for example, that footwear example only. So you're doing a social media post about that formal footwear that has come up as a new collection. Add a link of your website, and that's where you are creating a backlink. So through that also you can create backlinks, and then other platforms also which you can use, and then you have track results. And for that, Google Analytics and Search Consoles are the two platforms that you have to use. Now, tools which you can use for such an optimization. For keyword research, I've given a few of the popular tools. Google Keyword Planner is a tool inside Google Ads account. So a lot of time people say like, I can't find Google Keyword Planner. So Google Keyword Planner actually is a tool, but it is part of Google Ads account. So you can create a Google Ads account, and that's where you'll find Google Keyword Planner, Keyword IO, Keyword Sheeter. As a public, again, a very interesting tool, and Solve is also there. Then you have on-page optimization. For on-page optimization, I think, and my personal favorite are the first one, ChatGPT and Gemini. Both are AI tools, and there are plugins available which you can use with these AI tools, and everything that you need for on-page optimization, these both the tools, and both of them are free, so you can use either of them, and they'll be able to provide. There are a few other tools which you can use. Search review tool, content analysis is also a very interesting tool, because you can give your content which you have created to this tool, and it will tell you how good or how bad it is, right? So you will be able to optimize your content using this tool. And then plagiarism checker is also there. Then you have content creation. So that's where you can use Canva, ChatGPT, Gemini, Copy equal bot, and technical SEO, Google Search Console, SEO site checkup, SEO review tool, the Pace Fees and side for GD Matrix. And then for link building, you have BuzzStream, Hunter, Raven, Link Cody, and Google Alerts. So these are the tools which you can use, and there's a ample amount, or there's ton of content available on YouTube and other places which you can use to understand how to use these tools. And a lot of them are something that we also use in our other activities, like ChatGPT is something that we otherwise also use, so we can use them, right? So these were the tools, and again, all the links for these tools are there in the presentation, so you don't have to like copy the name and then search for it. I've hyperlinked the name, so you'll be able to find, or you'll be able to navigate to that tool and then use it. Email marketing, again, is something which I'm not going to explain. Email marketing is where you're reaching out to prospective customers or existing customers. So broadly, it is used. One is to attract new customers, and second is to stay in touch with your existing customer and motivate and incentivize them to come and shop with you or buy from you once again, right? So that is essentially, in simple terms, email marketing. And let's understand how you can go about doing email marketing. So first thing that you have to do is you have to build a email list. So if you had been in business and you have an existing customer list, so that's where you can leverage that. Then you have to segment that list. So you can segment that list on the basis of geography, if that is possible. You can segment that list based on gender, or you can segment that list based on customers who have been yeah, transacting with you, and the customers who are not, who haven't transacted with you yet. So that's where you have uh, high value customers and regular customers. The high value customers are those who have already transacted, so you would want to stay in touch with them, or if there's a special promotion happening, you may want to inform them, because with them the possibility or the probability of getting an order is higher as compared to a regular customer. And then you have to create compelling content, right? Engaging content. And that is where, again, there are platforms and there are tools which are available, right? So this is where again a lot of times we think like, who will design the emailer? We are not an expert into that. You don't have to be an expert in that. There are already templates pre-designed for you. You have to just add your information, add your name, add your logo, and add your content, and start utilizing it, right? So don't worry on that. How will I create compelling content? You can easily do that. Anyone can do that in today's age. Track and analyze. So this is where it is important that you're tracking and analyzing, like how many emails. So suppose you have sent 1,000 emails, then how many emails were actually delivered, right? So there may be a scenario that the email IDs that you're using may be wrong, or they may be bouncing, or they may be closed. So out of the 1,000 emails that you have sent, how many were delivered? Now, out of those delivered, how many were opened, and how many were opened, and how many were clicked, and from those clicked, how many orders did you get, right? So you have to track all that, because you're spending money on sending the emails, then you have to also analyze and understand what kind of returns you are getting out of it, and then you have to test and optimize. So based on the understanding that you're getting from tracking and analyzing, that if I'm sending 1,000 emails, then how many are getting opened, and then how many are getting clicked, and or how many orders you are getting. Based on that understanding, you can test and optimize, right? So you can do A/B test, like, so you can send one subject line to a portion of the audience, right? So if you're sending an email, you can do A/B testing with like dividing that 1,000 user base into 500, sending one subject line to one user base and half of the user base, and then sending the other subject line or emailer with the other subject line with to the other half user base. So that will help you understand like how the audience is responding, and which emailer is doing better, or which subject line is a better hook. So those kind of optimizations you will have to do over the period of time to uh, keep getting the results out of the email campaigns that you are running. So that's where you'll be able to analyze and fine tune it to an extent wherein if you're sending an email, the kind of conversions and the kind of open rate that you're getting, you'll be able to improve those numbers. The last is using a good email service. Why it is critical to use a good email service? Because if you're not using a good email service, in that case, there may be a scenario that emails may not get delivered. Because what happens if you're these email service providers, if they see that there are a lot of spam emails coming from particular servers. So in that case, they blacklist those servers, or they blacklist those IPs. So in that case, there can be a scenario that you're sending the emails, but they are not getting delivered because the email service providers have blocked the service of that service provider, right? So that is where it is important that you should use a good email service provider. All right. So this was about email marketing. Now, what are the tools that you can use? So MailChimp is a very popular tool, and it is also one of the easiest tool to use. Then you have Sendinblue, and all of them have a freemium model. So certain number of emails you can send absolutely free, and about that, obviously you have to subscribe to their package, constant contact, benchmark emails, Send Plus. So there are a number of service providers, and you can review them and analyze them, and then take a decision which one you should use. Again, all the platforms or all the tools are hyperlinked in the presentation. Moving on to social media marketing. Now, social media marketing is again something we all understand. So let's skip the textbook definition. Why should you have to define your goals? If you're going through social media marketing, you should define your goals. You should know your audience. You should choose the right platform, because the platform varies from audience to audience. So if you are looking for professionals, then probably LinkedIn may be a better platform. If you're looking for youth, then probably Instagram or Facebook may be a better platform. Instagram may be a better platform, right? So based on your customer profiling, and that is the second point that you're seeing on the presentation, uh, that you should know your audience, you should understand their interests, their preferences, etc. And based on that, you should choose the right platform, create valuable content. You have to create engaging content and then plan and schedule your post, and then engage with your followers. If there's people commenting, uh, sending you a message, etc., you should respond. And then lastly, measure and analyze the results and continuously improvement. All right. So those were the things, or that's how you'll be able to do social media marketing. And these are the tools which you can use. Designer.microsoft is something that you can use extensively. This is where you have to just give an instruction to the AI tool, and it will create the social media posts, visuals for you, and sometimes even with a text. So you can use that. Canva is another tool which had been used for many, many years. Adobe Express is also a free tool. So it is again a freemium version. So the basic is free, and then there are paid features into it. Post Genius is something which can help you in generating, like it is also a fantastic tool which you can use for creating, right? So from Designer to Microsoft, you can generate the visuals, or from Canva, you can generate the visual. But whatever the text, Post Genius is there. Our Copy AI is also there, or ChatGPT, and Gemini is also there. Then you have Write Sonic also for that. Then you have Buffer, and uh, HubSpot. Both of them will help you. In fact, Social Bee will also help you in scheduling that. So it is not like every day you are stressed that you have to do the social media post. You can schedule everything, create everything, schedule everything, and on at the right date and the right time, the tool will automatically post. And in fact, HubSpot is popular for their uh, sales management tool, but they also have a very powerful social scheduling tool, and which you can also consider exploring in case you want to use automated tools for your social media posts. So let's move on to content marketing. And again, we'll skip the content marketing definition. We all understand content marketing to a certain extent. So, how to do content marketing? And that is where, firstly, you have to define your target audience, and then you have to conduct a research to understand that audience in a better way. You have to identify your goals, like what is your goal? You want to get more traffic onto the website, or you want to get conversions, you want to get leads, you want to get orders. What is your goal? And then you have to choose the channels, like you do in social media marketing. You have to create a content strategy. You have to produce high quality content, and then you have to promote that content, and then you have to measure and analyze results. All right. So that is content marketing, and I've also added explainer text or description for each of the points. So tomorrow, when you're going through this presentation, you'll be able to relate to it. All right, so let's move on to the tools which you can use for content marketing for topic research. That's where you have BuzzSumo, you have ProTens, then you have Google Keyword Planner, Answer the Public, Google Trends. Then for writing, you have ChatGPT, Copy AI, Gemini, Quellbot, etc. Then you have designing Canva, Designer to Microsoft, Pixel Hunter. Uh, for visual editing, you have Illustro, DaVinci Resolve, VSDC, Audacity. These are video editing software. And then for stock images and videos, Pixel, Pixabay, Unsplash, FreePic, Flat Icon. Influencer marketing. So influencer marketing is also something which is of a recent addition, and is where you're partnering with an influencer who has a significant following, and they are promoting your product or service. So how to do influencer marketing? So define your target audience, and then identify your goals. Again, what are you trying to do with the influencer? Then find the right influencer. So once you have identified your customer base, and then what is the objective that you want to achieve, and based on these two things, you should find the influencer, and then you develop a partnership strategy or agreement with the influencer. Then you should create a campaign plan, like how will the influencer promote, right? So what will be the campaign, whether they'll do a post or whether they'll do a video, or there's something else that they will be doing to promote that. And then the campaign should be launched, and then you should measure and analyze how successful, whether you received any benefit from it or not. All right. So that was about influencer marketing. And lastly, Google Ads. So this is where Google Ads is also something that we all understand. Search marketing, or there are different types of Google ads. So firstly, let's understand what are the types of Google ads which are there. So first is search ads. So you are searching for something, and that's where there are certain ads which are displayed on the top. Those are search ads. These are also called text ads. Then we have display ads. So you go to a website, and that's where there's some ad or some image banner which is appearing. So that is display ad. And sometimes these banners or ads, they keep following you. So that's where the whoever was advertiser, they have they had been running a remarketing campaign, and that's where that ad keeps following you. So wherever any other website you're also going, you're seeing the same ad there as well, because there's a remarketing happening. So that is why. Then you have the third type of ad. Those are shopping ads. So Google has a shopping tab. So that's those ads. Or you're searching for something on the top, you can see products. Those are the shopping ads. Then you have video ads. So these are the advertisements that we see on the YouTube. Then you have universal app ads. So these are the ads which we see on the mobile applications. And then you have local service ads. So these are displayed on the Google map or search results. How to do Google ads. So define the target audience, who is your customer, what is your goal. Again, getting traffic onto the website or getting conversion or leads or orders. What is your objective? Then do the keyword research. Once you have done the keyword research and identify the keywords, then you have to set up your account, then create the ad. Then you have to set the budget and bid, like in a day, how much you would want to spend and what will be your bid. So you can set that, and then you should launch the campaign, and you should monitor and adjust, and lastly, analyze and optimize. Now, this is where a lot of analysis and optimization is required, because like a ad was performing today and you were getting customers may not work tomorrow. So that is where it is important that you are analyzing it properly, and understanding the patterns, understanding the customer, from where the customer is coming, what words are working, what searches are working, what bids are working, what bids are not working, whether your budget is getting used up or not. So there's a lot of analysis that you have to do, and at least whenever you're starting off, dedicate first 3 months. You have to put everything under the microscope, and you have to analyze everything. That is where you will be optimized. Now, in very simple words, with Google Ads, obviously everyone understand the objective is to get orders or traffic onto the website. But there is one more objective that you have to keep in mind, and that is to reduce your conversion rate. So, for example, you are running ads, and imagine that your today's conversion rate or cost of one order is, let's say, 250 rupees, because obviously it is not like 100 people are coming, so all 100 will be buying, right? So they can, many of them will be going away empty handed, right? So what is your conversion rate? So how much are you spending to get one order? So let's say you're spending 250 rupees. So your objective, other than obviously getting leads, orders, and converting business and getting orders, is to reduce that number. So all this analysis and monitoring, etc., is for that objective, so that you can reduce that number. So tomorrow or 6 months down the line, you must not be spending 250 rupees. You should be optimizing it to an extent that it comes down. Like, it will depend on number of factors that how much you are able to reduce, but you should be focusing on reducing that number. It should not be what you started off. If you're starting off with 250, try to bring that number so that you're reducing the cost of each order that you're getting. And that is where you are refining your target audience. So that's where your bounce rate will come down. You have identified your goals properly. You have set up your campaigns properly. You have set up your bids, your budget. Everything is done properly. So that's where you'll be able to reduce that as well. And these are tools that you have to use. We are already familiar with these tools. Keyword Planner is part of Google Ads account. Ad Editor is part of Google Ads account. And then you have Google Analytics and you have Google Tag Manager. So those are there. Now, this is something which had been requested by a few members, that share with us step-by-step process of setting up Google Ads account. And that is where instead of me explaining, it is going to be better if Google explains. So what I've done, and I'm certainly not going to play the video. This is a video which I have embedded in the presentation. So you can, whenever you are reviewing the presentation, or you can review it. But more importantly, you can see there is this text. So this is actually linked to a playlist. So Google has a very detailed playlist, a step-by-step playlist around about setting up the Google Ads account, and then how to set up the ads, right? So there are a number of videos which are available on their channel. So very detailed video, every step is explained properly. Review these videos if you want to set up Google Ads. This is an extensive resource which is available. I've linked it in the presentation. So when you're wanting to set up your Google Ads, you'll be able to do that very easily and very effectively by reviewing these resources. I just sort of adding it here so that when you're going through this process, you are able to do it easily. You have some guidance with you. All right. So this is the last slide in the presentation. So this is where we'll break into the question answer round. Thank you everyone for attending the webinar. I hope you found the session informative. And again, I'll repeat that statement once again because it gets asked so many times. Yes, you'll get the recording of today's webinar, and you will also get a copy of today's presentation. And it will be in the email. And in addition to that, I will also add this to the recordings description. So recording, you'll get a link to a YouTube video. In the description, again, I will add a link to download this presentation, right? So, and all the tools that I have shared in today's session, most of them are free and they're all hyperlinked in the presentation. So if you have to access any of the tool, just click on it and you'll be able to access that tool. All right, so this is where I am going to stop sharing my screen and we will break into the question answer round. So this is where, let me bring the question Q&A box and the chat back in front of me. So you can see, I think quite early on, Mr. Vikash had asked a question. So Vikashji, I've explained to you a number of tools, but for your kind of business, I think Google Ads, or to be more precise, Google Search Ads is something that will be of more relevance to you. So this is where, firstly, you have to do the readiness check and you have to uh, set up the entire tracking. Once you have done that, that's where you can start doing the search ads, and that will help you in getting the right traffic onto your website and getting leads and inquiry. Next question is from Mr. Suraj. Wants to understand for Google Shopping ads, we should have an e-commerce website. Yes, certainly for Google Shopping ads, because in fact, the products that you see on Shopping ads, they are linked with your website. So if someone clicks on it, actually they are redirected to your website for placing an order. So for Shopping ads, e-commerce website is a must. Next question, how important is Tag Manager? Tag Manager is extremely important. It is used for setting up Google Analytics and a lot of other tools that you need for tracking and analyzing the traffic or user behavior, etc. Like I shared in this session about Microsoft Clarity or Hotjar. Now, those two tools, because you have integrated Tag Manager, that's where those tools can be integrated in matter of minutes. Otherwise, you have to like put the code onto the website and get involved with the developer. All that hassle is removed with the Tag Manager. Another or a more technical response which I can share with you, a benefit which is there of Tag Manager is that when you are using multiple tools, it slows down your website. Right? So if you have separate codes running on your website for Google Analytics, for Google Tag Manager, or just ignore Tag Manager, Google Analytics, and then you have your Facebook Pixel, and then you have your Microsoft Clarity, Hotjar, etc. So that will slow down your website. But with Tag Manager, because it is one tool which is sort of acting as a source for a number of other tools, so That is another advantage that you get with Tag Manager. Next question from Yuti Trivedi. So they are manufacturer of testing equipments. Which platform? So now, when it comes to platform, and her question is about social media marketing and email marketing. So for social media, I think uh, from a presence perspective, you should be there on all social media pages or all social media channels. You should have pages on all social media channels. That was what I was intending to say. So, because you don't know where your customer may be. I've seen like businesses that are in very industrial sort of product lines. They have very, very active Instagram pages. And God knows, like everyone is there on Instagram, and tomorrow you may be able to connect with a prospective buyer there, right? That is not her question. Her question is around email, around the marketing part. So obviously, your customer, or you have to understand if there's someone who's looking for my products, where they might be looking for, right? So that is where I don't think they may be looking for on social media. You may have to do the advertisement, so you can consider search ads. Beyond that, email marketing is something that you can do. Email marketing, like which platform you're using, it does not matter. The platforms that I've suggested, all of them are very popular and leading platforms with respect to email marketing. You can use any one of them, but the quality of the emailing list that you have will make a difference. Now, in addition to that, you can also consider advertising on the association's website. So there, you must be catering to certain industries. So, for example, textile industry, and there is some textile industry association, let's say of Tripur. So you connect with them and you do some advertisement there. That may get you good traction, right? Social media, I don't think with this kind of technical equipment you may get traction. Yes, you must have social media pages, but not advertising there. Advertising is something you should look at search ads and email marketing, and then you have to be getting a little creative in terms of identifying these sort of avenues like associations, or if there's a publication and they have a virtual version of it and doing ads on that. So those kind of things that you have to consider. Next question, what would be a best approach, Commander Anurag, for a B2B company? So for a B2B company, like I was suggesting for to Yuti, that you have to understand where your customer is, and based on that, you have to run the campaign. Now, I also suggested to her that when it comes to presence, you should be present. You should be present everywhere. It should not be that you're not being present on a particular platform because you see my customer may not be there. Yes, you must be present, but when it comes to advertising, that's where you have to do it little sensibly and wisely. And for that, understanding where your customer is important, and that is where for most B2B companies, search ad is something that you can consider. Email marketing is something that you can consider using. In addition to that, influencer marketing is also something that you can consider doing. Content marketing is also very powerful, which you can consider doing, and it can be like positioned very, very sharply so that only people with certain interests you're displaying those ads, right? You can even consider using social media marketing if you have a user base and you can showcase your ads. So alike marketing is something that can be done, right? So you have a user base, you give that user base to Facebook and tell them that these are my customers. So now, similar to these profile, find profile and show or ads to them. So that is another thing that you can consider doing. But to start with, Suggestion is that start with doing the readiness check, integrating all the analytics tool and starting working with them, and then start with something small like search ads, which can give you immediate traffic onto the website, and then see how it is performing, and then gradually keep starting or switching on one thing at a time. The next question is also from Mr. Sanjay. I think I have answered that. Next question is from Mr. Manoj Junjunwala, and this is a very interesting question. And so they are into financial services. Now, financial services is not something that a lot of people are actively looking for. Right? So it is not like we are actively searching for financial services, and that's where marketing it becomes a little tricky. And this is something which one of the payment gateway platform, they have done it very, very nicely in past. So what they have done, and payment gateway is like something which is used to get payment from the customers. So it is also not like you're actively searching for payment gateway. How many people are actively there on the internet looking for a payment gateway? So that's where what they did was what is our customer? They identified who is our customer. So our customer is a business owner. Now, what does a business owner need? So they need clarity on tax filing. They need clarity on this and that, right? So that is where they started creating that content, right? So they started creating content around GST. They started creating content around tax filing. They have started creating content around your staffing and HRMS, and then all those kind of things, right? So that is where they were able to create that engagement. Now, so you can deploy similar kind of a strategy wherein you understand what is your audience may be looking for, right? So they are not looking for your service, but what they may be looking for, and understand that, then create that content. And then so that content can be in form of a blog post, it can be form of a video which can be there on your channel, and you can then reverse connect the audience or bring the audience to your platform and convert them. Next question again from Yuti. Will LinkedIn be more popular or effective for their tools? Now, this where it is not like I am sharing or seeing a statement. I would not want to do that, but something like very, very basic, which I'm going to share with you, and it will help you, everyone, is that this is where one very simple question that you have to answer is that will someone be there on a platform looking for your product, right? So will there be people on LinkedIn looking for your product? May not. They may be looking for jobs, they may be looking for network, they may be looking to connect with one of their ex-colleagues, etc., etc. But actively, they are not there looking for a testing equipment, right? You certainly should have a profile, but from where you can get more relevant traffic is, I think, search is something that you can look at, and then email marketing and associations, etc., is something that you can consider. Next question from Horizon Exam. What is the key for digital marketing for export-import business? For export-import, I think your best bet would be search ads, and search ads, even geo-targeted search ads. So you can certainly define the demographics and the profile of the audience, and based on that, you can run like very precise. You understand where your product is consumed or where the importer sits in various countries, and based on that, you can run very geo-targeted search ads, and that should benefit you. So I don't think, or I don't see another question in the chat. So let me also quickly have a look at the chat if there is anything that I would want to answer. So I did promise to you that I will be sharing my contact details. So just give me a quick second. Let me share my email ID with you. So if any one of you need any further assistance or clarification, you can please feel free to reach out to me. So I'm sharing my email ID with everyone. All right, so this is where I think we should conclude the session for today. Thank you, everyone, for taking our time and participating in this session. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Bye bye from our side for now.